Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel and also leave a like on the video. Now let's get started. In 2014, advertising creatives Van Gold and Chris Sheldon thought it would be fun to create a Gap GIF with an accompanying website to satirize society's increasingly intimate connection to its smartphones and the antisocial behavior that followed their creation. The No Phone went from a joke with friends to an actual side gig, and they raised around $18,000 on Kickstarter for their useless hunk of plastic that was advertised as a way to get help to break the smartphone habit. The guys are funny and their satire of companies like Apple is clever, but it was painful to have to watch them go through their pseudo-pitch for $25,000 in exchange for 25% equity. It seemed as if the sharks were only slightly in on the joke, and it was never fully clear if Gold and Sheldon were trying to build a novelty gift business or were just mocking the process.
Essentially nothing. It is nothing.
But we managed to sell nothing in 3,100 times.
Look, guys, it's really bad. Really bad. I'm out.
All right.
There's a huge distinction between becoming an artist and an entrepreneur, and the maker of Chimera, Jason Woods, hasn't proven himself to be the latter. Woods asked for the Sharks to pay $250,000 to 20% of his company, Electrical Body. Investors considered the idea fascinating, but as the sales presentation went too far, they discovered that he hadn't even mentioned anything about the business strategy. It turned out that in the previous 10 years, Woods had invested $130,000 of his own money and had only come up with a prototype. He didn't have any customers and no patent. After trying to explain that it was finally ready to make him to the next level, Cuban told him that he was full of crap.
Demonstrate for us. Chimera's unique heads-up riding position gives you all the thrill and excitement of a conventional full-size watercraft, but at a much safer speed. To get this thing into production, I went to Kickstarter to try.
Are these prototypes?
These are prototypes.
You don't have anything for sale right now?
Correct.
Cuban hated Roller Doc's explanation so badly that he personally stood up and shook the hands of the co-founders, brothers Richard and Albert Amini, only to remind them that they delivered the worst Shark Tank proposal ever. They called for $50,000 for 20% of the virtual network between physicians and their patients. Cuban felt that the brothers' pitch wasn't for a legitimate company, let alone a legitimate corporation, and was only a mock-up of the device surrounded by endless strings of buzzwords.
We're trying to bring social media to medicine. And
Albert, let me go back to Mark's point. You keep saying social media, then you go to email. Email is not social media.
If a hypothetical company doesn't have a shot on Shark Tank, a hypothetical film is just as much guaranteed to fail. Immediately after James Lavatola and Brian Pitt said they were looking for $5 million to make 34% of the profits from their film idea, Cuban announced he was out. Lavatola and Pitt had a mock teaser for their motorcycle drama, but they didn't have a screenplay or a star. "It's an incredibly terrible idea," said O'Leary. "I'm forbidding you to continue."
Now, Track Days is a full-length action film. I'm out. It revolves around the exciting world, the motorcycle world championship.
I'm out. You're so open-minded, Mark. I'm out.
Sethi joined the tank, calling for $500 in return for 3.14% of the shares of his firm, Pavlok. It creates wristbands that either by manual or automated urging annoy the user while executing a bad habit. It's influenced by decades-old Pavlonian work, but when Mark Cuban asked Sethi if there were any peer-reviewed report on the feasibility of his innovation, Sethi could only refer to an 8-person experimental study with the University of Massachusetts in Boston. In the study that predated Pavlok, Cuban and Sethi began to argue with each other, and Sethi lost his cool face in frustration. O'Leary finally told Sethi that he was interested and made a proposition that Sethi accepted. However, Sethi later declined, stating that "I take a bid from someone but Mr. Great," utilizing O'Leary's nickname. He made it plain and simple that it was actually personal, and that's when the incident occurred.
More than 50% of our users break their habit in 7 days or less.
Let's leave the skepticism out for 1 minute.
I love the skepticism because he doesn't even know it's going to come.
Look, you guys can argue till the cows come home.
Belinda James is a creator of Slim Mirror, a company that offers personalized mirrors to individuals and companies that make the consumer appear skinnier than they really are. She sold $85,000 worth of her mirrors when she stepped into the room, but she picked her company at $1 million, asking for $200,000 for 20% of her firm. During her presentation, James acknowledged that one might find a slimming mirror somewhere, so while a couple of the sharks suggested that it was a scam, she attempted to extol the benefits of companies offering more items as people stared at themselves struggling to dress in the skinny mirror.
To tell me that your brand, Skinny Mirror, is worth $1 million today?
I've seen the potential. Have you taken a look at yourself in the mirror?
And that will wrap up today's video, guys. Thank you for watching. We will see you next time.